Before I get started with this wonderful triple P of the day, shout out to Craig J for sending it to me. It's been a while since I've done a triple P, and I think the last time I did one was focused around what I'm about to talk about right now, but just with a different face. So in this picture, you see a man by the name of Scott Fairlamb, and this is a very interesting picture. And this is probably the face he was making when he found out his fate. But he was one of the people that was involved at the invasion, as I like to call it. They call it an insurrection. I call it an invasion at the Capitol at the beginning of the year. And you know how in the last video I talked about the black guy that was involved with this, but he wasn't there, and how they said he got the harshest sentence of 16 months. Well, guess what? This guy right here topped that, because this guy, Scott Fairlamb, got 41 months in prison because of his involvement at the Capitol. And like I said, I can imagine this is the face that he's making when he found out that's what he was getting. And something tells me if the wrong people get around him, this is going to probably be the other face he's making, if you get what I'm saying. Felice Johnson. Okay, let me go ahead and get into this. It says U.S. Capitol rioter who assaulted police officer gets 41 months in prison. A New Jersey gym owner and former MMA fighter who punched a police officer during the January 6th riot was sentenced to 41 months in prison on Wednesday, becoming the first rioter sentenced for violence against the police during the attack. Scott Fairlamb pled guilty to assaulting a police officer and obstructing an official proceeding in August. I truly regret my actions that day. I have nothing but remorse. I bet you do, but something tells me you don't. Fairlamb said in court Wednesday, later adding to the judge, "I just hope you show some mercy on me, sir." His sentence will likely set an early benchmark for how harshly rioters charged with violence may be punished, and ushers in a new phase of the Capitol riot cases, which so far have only had non-violent defendants sentenced largely to no jail time. So this guy's making history. He's the first person to be sentenced for a violent attack, because everybody else who's been sentenced was non-violent, including that Sambo that I talked about in the last video. The one with the Terrence Howard conch, that guy. Before handing down the sentence, Judge Royce Lamberth told Fairlamb he made the right decision accepting a plea agreement. Had you gone to trial, I don't think there's any jury that could have acquitted you. Lamberth said that other January 6th defendants in a similar situation as Fairlamb are going to get a lot more time in prison if they go to trial. The way you hit the police officer in the face like that, you're fortunate he wasn't injured. Fairlamb was also sentenced to 36 months of supervised release following his time in prison. Prosecutors sought 44 months in prison for Fairlamb because of his criminal history. Photos he took with an area closed sign outside the Capitol, which prosecutors said shows Fairlamb knew he was not allowed at the building, and messages to a friend that he'd go again to the Capitol. Body camera footage shows Fairlamb following and yelling at officers on January 6th, at one point shouting, "You have no idea what the F you're doing." He then shoved and punched the officer in the head, the footage shows. Prosecutors allege that Fairlamb was one of the first rioters inside the Senate side of the building. 4 days after the siege, Fairlamb allegedly tagged Representative Cori Bush, a Missouri Democrat, in an Instagram post and wrote that he should have lit your ass up, presumably during the attack. The post also contained screenshots of racist and sexist threats against the Congresswoman. And it says the story has been updated with more from the court hearing. Well, this is just the interesting turn of events. And the judge even said, good thing that you decided to take the plea agreement, because he said if you had gone to trial, you would have done a whole lot more time, and most likely a jury was not going to acquit him, which also tells me that there's going to be a lot of those who have violent charges against them, like this dude here, are going to go out and they're going to do the same exact thing. But it is what it is. So they say he has 41 months in prison with, 36 months of, supervised released. Now, some of you are saying, oh, that's nothing because he got 41 months with the bulk of it being supervised release. To someone like him, who's probably used to going out and about. Here's the thing. When someone's used to going out and about and doing whatever they want or being free, that's like prison to them. And you got to think, some of these same people, maybe himself included, were some of the same ones last year during quarantine who said that, or compared them being at home to slavery or being in prison and everything like that because they couldn't get up and go wherever they wanted. Now this guy, when he gets out of prison, when he does the few months that he's to do in prison, the other 36 months under supervised release, which means he has to wear an ankle monitor. Imagine that he is told he can't go here, he can't go here, he might have a curfew, he has to be back by this time, and he can't leave before this time, and all stuff like that. He can't do this, he can't do that. For like, how long is 36 months? That's what 3 years? He has to do that for 3 years. That's going to feel like hell for him, especially when he went out and did this, and which got him in the position that he's in the first place. So I kind of see it from that angle, but I'll also see it from the people's perspective of they should have had all 41 months be with him locked up. So I get it from that aspect as well. But hey, he got 41 months. He's got a couple of months actually in jail, and he's got the other 36 with a ankle monitor on his around his ankle that's going to probably feel more like an anchor, because he won't be able to really do much, at least not to the point which he was already doing before this right here. I just had to talk about it because this this picture right here is priceless. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and of course you already know how we about to end this video off, so Petty Debbie, take it away.